Hello, and welcome to the Bel-E and Scratch Podcast. I'm your host, Bel-E.
And I am your co-host, Scratch.
And today, I can't seem to have thought of anything else to say, as per usual. That's kind of a theme I'm running into.
Theme?
Yeah. Past couple of sessions, it's mostly just been stuff off the top of my head. What do you mean? What are you talking about?
You can't think of anything to talk about, but you always have something to say. What's up with that?
Oh, yeah, me and every other, every other condescending dickhead.
No, I don't mean it like that.
Yeah, no, it was just something I got into it the other day. A coworker's like, yeah, I'm a hipster. Dude, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. If you have to say you're a hipster, you're not a hipster.
Yeah, what is it about that?
I don't know. Not only that, but we used to live out in the West.
Yeah, as west as you can go.
As west as you could go, at least on this continent.
Mm-hmm.
Well...
Without a visa.
Yeah, without a visa, without going to...
without a passport.
Yeah, no, without taking a long trip up to Alaska and freezing our asses off. But, yeah, we used to live right around where they would congregate-ish, a couple miles out of the city. Several miles out of the city. We know what those people look like.
Absolutely.
He's not it. You know, and I was, yeah. Because if he was, I probably would have killed him a long time ago.
That's right.
Sent his kneecaps to the moon, as I've threatened to do so at least once every 2 weeks.
That's right. Hang up on my wall, man.
Mm-hmm. Which, ironically, he is a hunter, so that would be appropriate.
Well, he definitely is familiar with the term of get stuffed.
There we go. But, honestly, what I mean by that is sometimes I don't come in with we gotta talk about this right now, kind of like we did with the Capitol Hill episode.
Oh, well, I mean...
Because as soon as that broke loose, you and I were like, we gotta talk about that.
Because that's therapy.
That's therapy, and it was funny. Yes, people got hurt, and people died.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's...
Ted Nugent invaded Capitol Hill.
Nugent.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying...
Once you, like I said, I'm all about peaceful protest.
Yeah, peaceful protest.
Let me put it to you like this, people.
Mm-hmm.
This is the definite sign of a peaceful protest, okay? If the security folk in the area if they ask, is this an attack? It's
probably not peaceful.
Probably not peaceful, and there's no it's these it really was a peaceful protest. A couple people got out of line,
obviously.
and then mob rules. See, that's my whole thing.
How so?
It's not what side of the political fence you come down on. It's mob rules.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like mob rules.
No.
Okay. Because mob rules, the thing, what ticks me off about mob rules is because I know mob rules, but don't tell me you're not a part of the mob.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't tell me. Okay.
Yeah, mob rules essentially, from my understanding, it's, everyone's, everyone's all chill or whatever. They're trying to accomplish something, and then 2 or 3 nut jobs break rank and start raising some hell in a peculiar way, and then the rest of the group goes, hey, let's follow them. It sounds like a good idea. Don't think about it. They don't think about it. They don't talk about it. There's not a discussion, a debate. There's no democracy. There's just a follow the leader, snap mentality, and they go right into it.
Oh, I think it's definitely
pitchforks and torches.
Forks and torches. Oh, smoke that turkey.
Don't you talk about turkey.
Why? They're not listening.
Yeah, it's because my trainer's trying to kill them all.
But no, what gets me about people is that they think they brag. Okay.
What, they brag about being involved in the mob?
Oh, they
or
brag.
The mob rules?
They brag about having this independent mindset.
Oh.
And those are the ones that scream the loudest. Are usually the ones that are so far in over their head.
Yeah.
And and I've seen this from different perspectives. Everybody that
yes.
I've seen it. I grew up in a very the word
the T-posing religion.
The biggest net would be I grew up in a religious subculture, and so I know what it looks like to see people get caught up in
the religious fervor and all that.
Religious fervor, but not necessarily religious. You see what I'm saying? There are people who get caught up in these ideas, and
that's where that whole holier than thou stuff comes from and all that.
Well, it's like one crackpot. Okay, let's think of it. There was a situation many moons ago, and it was, excuse me, there was an item that was discovered in a small town.
Yeah.
Not to the north of where we are.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out where you're going with this.
There was an item that sparked a very justifiable reaction from anyone. It was a symbol of a time that came before that involved people owning other people in a way that they would punish somebody if they got caught stealing a horse. A death sentence.
Yeah.
And they found them.
Dancing in the wind.
Dancing in the wind, yeah. And
then
a bunch of people
doing that Houdini tango.
A bunch of people besieged that town. Like it was 1968. And
no one asked questions.
No, everybody asked questions. It was just a big I mean, obviously there was some
dumb drunk kid, probably.
Some dumb affluenza child, who had no understanding of reality at all.
Clearly,
because
otherwise they
brought down
have
a
done
thunderstorm on it. But there were people. I can remember they were interviewing people. People were like, "This was what was so funny." There was these people that took off from these really prestigious colleges, like Ivy League colleges, and they're going to go down and protest for their spring break or something.
Yeah,
they treated it like it was a recreational activity, like they were on a tour. These people that go on these the tours around certain areas. They have all these dangerous places you can stay, or all these haunted places you can stay.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. It was like we're gonna drive.
That's not how protesting works.
That's not how protesting works. They're like throwing crackers and beer in the car. That's what it looked like. People say, "Well, you don't know." No, technically I don't, but that's kind of what it looked like. What I'm saying is people get in love with an idea. It's easy to join the mob. You think you're acting independently,
but you're not.
But you're really not. And it's easy to get swept up in that. And religion used to hold that kind of sway in North America, in my opinion. But now politics does.
Politics. It didn't matter. It really doesn't matter what the school of thought ultimately
is.
It
doesn't. It has turned into...
Yeah. Adjusting the mic. See,
no worries.
Yeah, all that. It really doesn't matter what school of thought...
Maybe I need to get it up a little higher.
What? I don't know. All I know is that needs to be closer towards you. Because I can shout.
Well... Yeah, I know, and my shouting causes
an earthquake. Yeah,
issues.
Yeah,
so yeah, I have over the years unconsciously programmed myself to this right now. The way I'm speaking is just above a whisper.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, of course, once we get all the high-tech equipment, we soundproof the heck out of the recording studio. You can just yell as much as you want. Yeah, pretty much.
Next. Yeah, that's cool.
Ultimately, it really doesn't matter what school of thought it is, be it secular, religious, this or that.
It's tribalism.
Yeah, it's basically sociology.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about people say, "Oh, that's ridiculous." No, think about brand. Okay, think about marketing. Think about brand. There's a particular look at the cult of the apple. Okay, it's a brand.
Yeah, and a cult.
And it's a cult. Sure, yeah, but it's a tribe. Okay, there is a tribe. And I even see people that are kind of blurring the lines because to own this type of hardware, I'm not the one that makes these connections, and I am not the one that makes these definitions. Somebody else did, because if it was up to me, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But someone else is making someone, as far as putting words in my mouth, someone else made these words coming out of my mouth.
Some marketing executive.
Yeah, so, don't point a finger at me. All I am is using the vernacular that's already involved. I didn't invent anything. But, it's just these everybody wanting to tribe up right now. And
well, to be fair, I guess it does make sense because a lot of people, especially my generation, a little bit older, like millennials, younger, like alpha generation or whatever the hell they're going to call them.
Yeah.
They're treating everything like it's the end of the world. It's the end of civilization. And I'm like, what?
Generation Q.
Children of the Corn?
Not just that. But that particular letter of the alphabet covers some people on the other side of the fence, too.
What do you mean?
Q.
Q. What?
Generation Q. You heard it here first, folks. All right, that's mine.
Is that a Star Trek reference?
No.
Okay.
That's mine. That's original. It's copyrighted. All right?
Okay.
In the future, these news people are using the term Generation Q.
You said it first.
Mine.
Okay, I'm writing that down.
A quarter every time.
All right, I'm writing that down, even though I don't fully understand what the fuck you're talking about. What?
Anyway.
It's probably a copyright thing. Or not copyright,
yeah.
Paywall thing.
No. Yeah, sure. I ran on. Take some ridiculous rant talking about how much money the world owes me every time somebody says that. Absolutely.
I just want to know what the fuck you're talking about.
They just toss that out on me one day and I'll just bust open.
I just want to know what you're talking about, but I ain't got time for that right now.
No, I'm saying, the people that...
Yeah, everyone's treating it like it's the end of civilization, capitalism has reached the late stages and,
capitalism didn't have it. Well, let me rephrase that.
Yeah, because I'm not saying.
However, the money got to the area where the research was going on.
Yeah.
However, process that created that, that needs to go away.
That does need to go away.
Okay, that's all I can say. All right, and.
It's just...
If we were in a different style of government, would that have changed?
I don't want to think about it.
Because you always hear these stories about, overall, over on the other side of the wall over there.
Mm-hmm. You mean in Europe or Canada? Or
Russia.
Oh.
I mean...
Okay, you do realize the Iron Wall came down, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Everybody over here is screaming about socialism. Well, what's the... I mean, other than China... what's the biggest closely matched infrastructure, closely matched...
Russia is still...
But they're still considered socialists.
They're still considered socialists, although they're not nearly as uptight as back in the early days of it. Not quite.
Probably. Well, not as... I think they're... Well, all control is starting to go digital.
True.
It is amazing what I have seen just since the beginning of the year of how control is going digital. People watch out.
Yeah.
Okay, because what's going to happen in the next year to two is they're going to start taking people down that said something 20 years ago.
Yeah, back when the culture was completely different.
When the culture was completely different, they're going to start. They're going to just start taking down is a harsh phrase. Let's try dismantling.
Yeah, even though
because taken down sounds like they rush in and beat it with sticks until it's a pile.
Even though sometimes that is the case.
That does happen. But to dismantle it, they're going to rationalize each and every step and to a narrative that's already been established. Blah 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 blah. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it's going to go, and I'm not saying pro or con, yay or nay. I'm saying that makes me uncomfortable. Okay.
No, eventually, here's the thing. This whole social...
I mean, that's like holding somebody. We know
it's a blackmail. Let's call it what it is.
Well, I mean, it's there's no end to it. There's no end game. There's no solution. There is no resolution in the frame of mind and thought process that makes that logical. There is no end game. There is no resolution. There isn't.
I think part of the whole thing with just clipping people for things they've said God knows how long ago,
To do what? To make room for more? Everybody ought to understand that the market is large enough to withstand all of the above.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the thing. Here's how I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, now, there are probably several different reasons why you just want to clip somebody for things they've said or done several decades ago.
Sure.
Let's just take,
I've got a short list.
I know. I guess you would get rid of people if they don't agree with you and or they would cause trouble for the establishment. Say, to an extent, to like Tim Allen, James Woods, to an extent.
Oh, you mean the current establishment?
The current establishment.
Yeah.
Like, they would make waves because they still have that following.
Oh, they're definitely targets.
And they are targets.
They are definitely targets. And the longer...
And I don't hate these people.
No.
Like, I like James Woods a lot better because he's Hades, but that's just childhood not trauma. Nostalgia. Like, he loves being Hades so much that anytime Disney's like, hey, we kind of need a cameo, he's like, I'm fucking there.
Well, see,
you don't even have to pay me. I'll step in the booth.
I think it's eventually going to get to that. I really do.
So basically, that is one reason that they would just make waves, and obviously having an echoes chamber is a lot easier to control than diversity of opinions.
So you disagree with somebody's perspective. So what?
Well, that's
you can't. I mean,
here's the thing.
You can't make that 100%. It doesn't.
I think that they're trying to.
They always try.
I mean, is it possible? No.
It's impossible.
No, you can't make. You can't make anything 100% unanimous without a threat. I can't judge another person by their appearance, but they can judge me by my appearance. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
there's a breakdown in.
It's a double standard.
It's a breakdown in logic here that's going on.
It is not logical. Another reason for this dismantling would probably be someone's just not useful anymore. Say, Kevin Spacey.
Oh my God! He
just was not useful anymore.
He clearly was not.
Because they threw his ass under the
narrative
bus.
That jumped up when he was when
he did his dumb shit, or when his dumb shit caught
fire. They're like, it's conspiracy theory to think all those people out there that when the place where they make the movies act in a particular way that's unlawful and sick, but you keep finding these examples of it, and it's like, hey, what was that? You go, what was that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they clamped down on. He was an obnoxiously talented fellow.
No, yeah, I'm not taking anything away from Kevin Spacey in terms of acting.
And I think that's
a piece of shit.
Well, that is true. I agree with it, but I think there's a certain. I think the human being is corruptible on a very interesting. I mean, uber corruptible. Like. He was basically a demigod.
And then it just got flushed.
Yeah, I know, but see, it was that, it's like, believe in your own press.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody thinks you're Jesus, so you start believing you're Jesus, then you do whatever you start. See, I want to think, because I think he's a talented fellow, and I enjoy his work. But I want to think that him reaching that upper echelon corrupted him. I don't want to think that he was naturally that type of person, because I think there are people that are naturally that type of people, but I also want to believe that people situationally can be corrupted into that type. I want to believe that because to not believe that, in my opinion, makes me believe that people are way too animalistic, and it's just something that we can never get away from. And I don't like. It's like it's like hoping you'll wake up one day and have 11 fingers instead of 10. You designed a particular way. I don't like to think that people are designed. I think I want to believe that situation. In other words, nurture.
Yes.
Nurture, not nature. I don't want to believe that it's nature. I want to believe that it's nurture. And that's kind of the way I look at a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I want to believe that the stimuli that we are dropped into when we arrive in this plane shapes us. And so when I think about Kevin Spacey, I don't want to think that he was that way originally. I think he got corrupted into that because of his status that it just, some people it corrupts, some people it doesn't to that level.
No, I get it, but
or does it corrupt everybody and he just got busted,
Yeah.
So
but ultimately, that's kind of the whole. At least that's kind of the whole social credit system happening over in China, where you say the wrong thing, you go to the wrong place, you talk to the wrong person, and all of a sudden you can't even leave your house. Like, no trains will take you. You can't get a taxi. You can't buy food. You can't even have a bank account.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, so when people get spooked about the whole social credit system happening all over the world, that's what they're talking about. Here's the thing. People talk,
that's the...
I've seen people online going about, like, look, it's just, it's not going to be that bad over here or over there. And it's like, hey, look. If someone figured out how to track your movements, record your face, and disallow you to even have a bank account, and not even have a job, basically the government decides that you're homeless, you just have nothing. Oh, they flip a switch and you're like, hey, bye.
Minority Report.
Yes, straight up Minority Report.
You're running down the street and you see your own face on screens all over the place because they're looking for you.
Precisely. Yeah, that's what they're talking about. Yeah, and honestly, what gets me about that whole thing is I will always see videos and reports of, something like the BBC. They actually go into, Beijing, and they're interviewing people on the street.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. Believe it or not, I think there has been all BS aside. This is a little.
You should.
This is a little tinfoil hattish. Wait a minute. It's not tinfoil hattish. It is true. It just happens it's going to get thrown into the
tinfoil hat plane.
The den. The bin.
Of
the
course.
Tinfoil hat bin. Okay,
the tin bin, if you will.
I have heard the tin bin. That's awesome. I love it.
You were saying about the tin bin.
There have been reports sneaking out of China for at least the past 10 years about the every time I ran into someone writing about it.
What, they would disappear?
No. The tone that they would use.
What do you mean?
In other words, the tone of the writing of the article, the tone
what's the article about?
Okay, you can read something and it'll make you happy, and you can read something and make you scared.
No. I don't mean that. I mean, what are they writing about? Or does it not matter?
China's facial recognition technology.
Okay, now continue with what you were talking about. Right.
So that's
how the subject.
That's the subject of the article. And the person, and this is the whole thing, people don't understand how powerful language is. Language is very powerful. Look at the Book of Revelations. Book of Revelations is written in code. Okay, it is written in code because there's someone writing, there are authorities that are observing, and for this person, they go, oh, this is just a fanciful story that I'm writing. The Book of Revelations
it has to be.
It is written in code. Okay,
Revelation has to be in code.
So that's
what the fuck is a 3-headed beast with a lot? That doesn't even exist in nature.
10-headed
A 10-headed beast. That's a freaking chimera. That doesn't exist in nature.
That's right. So it
has to be an allegory.
It's an allegory.
You don't even have to believe it. You just look at. You don't even have to believe it. You just go. What the
this
fuck
person
is this?
was obviously writing. I read a couple articles that the way you could okay, let me go back to this because it'll be the simplest way to explain it.
Okay.
You read an article, make you happy. You read an article, make you sad. You read this article, it make you scared. The way it was written and the way the language was structured was to give the biggest punch to someone who, we talk about high language and low language. English is kind of one of those. There's these varying degrees in the middle. There is. In other cultures, high language and low language can go down to 2 categories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
There is senora, and then there is senorita, right? Okay, there's a formal, and then there's a non-formal. Okay, but English is kind of layered.
I think a better example would be sort of there's certain... during my time studying Korean, now mind you, I'm not an expert, not even close.
Yeah.
3 to 6 months does not make you an expert. Hell, it barely qualifies you as a native speaker, or even a novice speaker at that. So...
Some people win political office with less experience.
Clearly. But,
What I'm trying to establish is you can go far down as far as 2 categories.
Yeah, that's what I mean. In Korean, and I know in other languages as well, but the example here is there is a different word to refer to a person. Basically it's like referring to someone as sir or ma'am when you don't know them.
Right.
But when you know them, it's like, what up, bro? Like there's a different way of saying. There's like different ways of saying hi if you don't know someone. Or
I think Spanish is structured a little more based on anatomy.
Oh, it is. I know. I've studied that too.
Because anyway,
like oh no, I have a perfect example.
But what I'm saying is there's these different levels, and the way this article was written, it conveyed a very bleak observation based on China's facial recognition technology. And I have read one will pop up probably 2 or 3 a year, and they have, and honestly and truly, in my experience, and I don't surf like I used to. But
not really any point anymore.
I haven't seen an article on it in the past couple of years, but well, maybe I think the last one I saw was about 2 years ago. But over the last 10 years, probably two articles, maybe 3 in 1 year.
Yeah.
But that was it, and then it would just disappear.
So what the article was like?
Well, in other words, and what their technology is doing is what they're trying is what they them.
Yes.
Okay, don't tell me there ain't a them. There's a them. Stop it. There's always a them. Okay, if you ain't them, there's a them.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're going to this country will be next. It's going to be they've fought, so there has to be a some type of national ID system. This is what they're going to say.
Yeah.
They're going to want a national ID system.
Yeah. Which they're kind of starting to do that with hospitals.
Well, they're doing it with hospitals. They're going to slide it in with the whole vaccination.
That's what I mean. Whatever.
Make sure you got your shots there, Rudy.
Yeah. Oh, so I mean, look. Here's the thing. I'm not. Yes, I probably should be more concerned for this facial recognition technology, basically tracking your everything.
Right.
But here's the thing. On the one hand, obviously that's very Orwellian, 1984-ish.
Oh yeah.
But on the other hand, people are always getting tracked through people are already getting tracked through their phone, through their driver's license, their debit, credit cards, all that. And on the other hand,
the third,
mysterious yet still noteworthy third hand, if you will.
The butt palm.
Yes, basically the tail.
There you go. That's cool.
Here's the thing. This whole facial recognition technology and the tracking and the chipping and all that stuff. Okay, here's the thing. I know this game came out and it was a complete disaster, but hopefully they patched the damn thing to make it workable.
A gaming analogy?
Yeah.
That's bloody fantastic.
I know, right? New trick up my sleeve today.
Whoa!
Alright, now, I know Cyberpunk 2077 came out and it was a, colossal avalanche of what in the actual fuck did you guys do?
On style or action?
Well...
Because I like steampunk style.
Oh, no. But,
Don't be talking about steampunk style.
No. I ain't dissing Blade Runner. Chill.
No, that's cool.
I'm not dissing Blade Runner. I'm not dissing the Neuromancer. I'm not... Don't...
What?
Stop breathing heavy. Freaking me out over there. Anyway, so... Here's the thing, to finish up the analogy with the facial recognition software, that is eventually going to turn into Cyberpunk 2077, where people are going to invent stuff to subvert the programming.
Wait a minute. This game didn't do very well?
I'm going to get to that, but I'm just finishing this analogy, then I can move on to the game. Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole Cyberpunk world is... obviously there's more elements to it, but you basically put stuff in your brain so that you can do other stuff, like connect your brain to the internet, which is going to happen eventually.
Oh, yeah.
With VR and all that. You can cut your arm off and get, like, a cybernetic Terminator arm or whatever the fuck you want. You can rearrange your face. You can, do all of this stuff.
Yeah,
body modification.
No, and this isn't a bunch of graphic novel fluff.
No, it's starting to become reality.
I've read.
Mm-hmm.
I've read and respected what's left of the respected media.
Yeah,
I've read
left.
Articles based on this theory. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, theoretically, this whole facial recognition thing, you could theoretically subvert it even now without doing any sort of technological thing.
I mean,
you want to know what the leading example of how to subvert facial recognition technology is right now? Until they patch it, you are never going to guess, and you're going to laugh.
I'm sure I am, because I could make 1,000 cracks, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near what you're getting ready to say.
So far, one of the best ways to subvert facial recognition technology to where the camera cannot identify you
dun, dun, dun.
is with Juggalo face paint.
Get the out of here.
I'm not ucking with you.
Man, that sucks,
I know, right?
That's not cool.
I know you don't like ICP.
No.
I don't either.
No, let's back up.
Okay. What's up?
I like ICP.
Okay.
I do. I respect them for what they do, and the Nads, I mean, there's people that think they're Jesus, okay?
I respect them on that level, too.
And I don't know whether they have subverted that and taken advantage of it. I'm sure in certain situations they have. But ultimately, no.
Honestly, it's their fans that I really don't like.
It's the people. I've met a few jungalows. Those are cool. Jungalettes or whatever the term is.
Juggalettes.
Is that terminology?
Juggalos, juggalettes.
And juggalettes. I've met a few in the real world.
Yes.
Okay, I haven't met them on their turf, so I don't know.
No.
But no, I like it. To me, it's one of those things. ICP is like standing on the edge of a cliff. It's disturbing and exhilarating at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, so
exactly.
So I get that.
Yes.
All right, but that whole and those dudes probably have had some complications in their life by people thinking that they were Jesus.
Sure,
as well.
Of course. I mean, it's only natural.
So I'm not giving anybody a hard time. No.
We're not giving them grief. No. I'm just telling you that for some reason it throws the cameras off.
I have a great ICP story. One time when you were very small, there was some language being used by the matriarch.
Oh, God.
In front of you. And I was like, hey, take it easy, take it easy. I wasn't being a dick about it either. I was like...
Yeah, you weren't trying to be a jerk.
No, because she was really incensed about something. Whether it was me or anybody else is a moot point. She was using this really hardcore language in front of you. And I was like, hey, take it easy in front of you. I pointed at you. You were sitting down on the floor. I think you were like a year, 2 years old.
Yeah.
And so I was like, she was like, yeah, maybe what I say. I mean, she had gone tilt. And I was like, oh, okay. I'll be right back. I went out to my car and I got a CD that a junglette that I worked with
lent you.
that had burnt me.
Yeah.
Okay, she'd burnt me a disc. I was like, all right, hold that thought.
And you put that on blast.
That stereo system in there.
Yes.
When that was top of the line.
Oh my God.
We literally bought that at an auction from the biggest weed dealer in this region.
Yeah, because of course.
So we had his stereo system.
Uh-huh.
I cranked that ACP up, buddy. It was, and the F-bombs just rattled that place we were staying in. She dove on it. She was like, what are you doing? I said, you're the one talking about language don't matter.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta do that to folk.
We didn't have that conversation again.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole thing.
I'm down with ICP.
No, I get it. Sometimes it solves problems.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it creates problems.
That's
Balance.
true. Balance.
But no. This whole facial recognition, the government tracking you type stuff. No, that's just going to further accelerate this whole underground cyberpunk.
Dress like a man. That's not cool. Hey, wait a minute.
What?
I can't remember. No.
The game?
No. That movie, Clockwork Orange.
Oh God,
They didn't wear face paint, did they?
No.
No.
I hadn't seen that movie, so I wouldn't be able to keep up with you on that conversation.
Oh, yeah. You gotta see it.
I know I gotta see it. I just have a hard time sitting through Stanley Kubrick films because I just don't care for him personally. But I think I've talked about that at some point.
Yes.
But the Cyberpunk 2077 game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is like one giant kettle of fish that has it's kind of morphed into. It was a big problem.
2027.
Yeah, 2077.
2077.
Yeah, 2077.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
In a couple years.
Together.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll make it to that year. I should.
I'll make it to that year. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. Basically, now, looking back on it, I probably should have seen the signs that this was not going to be as fantastic as it was hyping itself up to be. Because here's the thing. The game studio that created Cyberpunk 2077 is called CD Projekt Red, who they were an independent studio, and then they kind of muscled their way into being among the Titan studios, along with like the Dark Souls people, From Software, Nintendo people, Xbox people, PlayStation, Sony, and all them. They just kind of muscled their way to the top, competing with Ubisoft and EA and all them.
Oh, really?
Because, during a time when the majority of the gaming studios were more concerned with making money through gambling and loot boxes than creating an actual video game that people can enjoy for decades down the line.
So it wasn't just marketing. They actually were putting out a quality product.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red were actually putting out good, high quality, polished, well-written everything.
Cool.
I'm taking a sip. But here's the thing. At the time, their primary flagship was the Witcher games.
Is that similar to the television series?
Yes, that's what the television series came from.
Oh, okay, cool.
The games are more coherent. I'm just going to tell you that right now. The games are more coherent.
Certainly hope so.
Yeah, look. People, all right.
I like it, but it's like...
What the fuck? Yeah, guys, trust me. I've seen the TV show. I played some of the games, like the first... definitely the third one. Well... Actually, got to replay the third one now that I think about it.
Well, you see in the game, you see the backstory.
Yeah, you see all the backstory. You see the parts.
TV, that's already established. It's like dropping into a world, and you have no idea what the laws of physics are in this realm.
Yeah, that's kind of what exposition is for.
That's cool. No, that's cool.
Yeah, every time I look at the TV show, I'm like, okay, What?
Well, and that's the first. Isn't that the first season?
I think so.
No, second season's usually better.
I hope it's better.
You know, we talked about timing and development.
Yeah, I'm not saying The Witcher's bad, but
No, it's not.
like,
It's
and then
not.
it's like, guys, what the fuck are you doing?
I think you gotta, it's like taking too big of a bite. You gotta chew on it for a while.
Yeah, you could have started something. You could have been really less complicated and then built on it. Like, you don't have to make Game of Thrones Part 5. You know? No, you don't. No, you don't. Like, we've had enough of the Game of Thrones.
You're not gonna beat that.
No, you can't beat it.
You can't beat that. The only thing that's gonna beat that GOT is when they completely and totally master digital.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Anyway. Now, here's the thing. Several years ago, CD Projekt Red basically made The Witcher 3, like, the complete edition with all the DLCs and all the bells and whistles and the rickety-rackets, everything.
Yeah.
And it is basically, as far as RPG games, it is considered downright a masterpiece. Top of the line, you really can't get much better than that. This particular game, The Witcher.
Okay. All right.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the problem. Here's the thing. Masterpieces are all well and good. Do not get me wrong. Especially if masterpieces obviously are better if the creator is still alive.
Sure.
Talking about like paintings and artists. Most of the paintings get famous once the artist is already dead.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
It's rare to be a legend in your own lifetime.
Precisely.
Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Except Stan Lee could keep up the momentum. Oh! I mean, obviously ebbs and flows, but I don't want to get into that. Because someone is going to beat me over the head with it. Anyway, here's the problem with creating a masterpiece in your own lifetime. How are you going to follow that?
Yeah, that's tough.
That's tough. It's tough. I mean, relating it to movies, think of the movie Ghostbusters.
Sure.
And now think of Ghostbusters 2. It's not as good as the first one.
No.
But how the fuck were you going to top the first one? How are you going to follow that act? They tried the best they could, in my opinion.
It's definitely lightning in a jar.
Yeah. That's what I mean. When you create lightning in a jar, you can't really follow it.
No.
Which, on the one hand, they tried something completely different with Cyberpunk 2077, excuse me.
Yeah.
Because The Witcher was like Middle Ages, it's like sword and sorcery. You got Geralt of Riviera, who is just grumbling around, killing monsters and griffins and banging everyone.
Next.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sometimes I was like, Geralt, stop it. You have like 3 girlfriends. Whatever. Anyway. So they obviously went completely in the opposite direction from that with, Cyberpunk. Technology, high technology, cybernetics, holograms, hacking.
Other than
drugs.
Yeah, other than a past genre.
Yeah.
Everything else is completely different.
Yeah, exactly. It's still an RPG. It's just an RPG, shooter, hacking, all that stuff.
It's just.
And it's got Keanu Reeves in it.
The movie? The game?
The game has Keanu Reeves in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Who else?
Yeah, John Wick. The game's got John Wick. What do you expect? So.
And this was this before or after John Wick?
During.
During?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think John Wick got obviously the first movie, John Wick, came out, and the second one came out, and then the third one came out, and I think somewhere between 2 and 3, CD Projekt Red was like, hey, once you get some time... Oh, excuse me, had a burp. Once, CD Projekt Red approached Keanu Reeves, and I guess what happened was like, hey, if you got time, can we just, put you in front of a green screen, and you just act cool?
You just do some jumping jacks and maybe some push-ups and
just let's make a video game.
Some lunges.
Yeah, just let's make a video game. And Keanu Reeves obviously said, "Hey, I can do that." Because apparently in real life, Keanu Reeves is a really cool dude.
That's what I've
heard.
Thank
God.
I haven't heard anybody ever say anything negative about him.
No.
I mean, other than
he can't act.
Other than his acting is shit. But as an individual.
Yeah.
No, I've never heard anybody say
seriously, I've heard so many stories. I don't know how many.
And I ain't heard
any
of that weird shit about, like him heroin overdose.
No. Yeah, it's like he doesn't have a furry collection.
No. They find him pre-dawn in some preschool nursery somewhere.
Yeah, no. He's not like eating Tide Pods on the weekend. No.
That's right. Charlie Sheenan.
Mm-hmm. No. None of that. I have heard.
I haven't heard about it.
Whether or not you think he's a good actor, it's kind of a mood point at this rate.
He does what he does.
He does what he does, and I respect that.
It makes him money.
I don't wish misfortune on him at all.
No.
The exact opposite. I wish him the absolute best.
Yeah.
I hope to talk to him one day.
Absolutely.
Like as an actual human being.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But he basically signed up. He's not the main character. He's kind of Okay, now mind you, I haven't seen any of the details because I'm waiting for the game to get patched like crazy before I actually play it.
How long you been waiting on the patch?
Since it came out.
I was about to say, and that's been
good couple of months.
Are they aware that the patch is necessary?
Yeah. They can't not patch it at this point.
So what are they doing? They're saying if you guys were not going to patch it?
No. Let me explain.
Work is in place.
Let me explain the kind of the development process of what's happening. Okay. All right. So the first thing I've established is you can't really follow a masterpiece. So
right.
CD Projekt Red created a masterpiece with The Witcher, the Unlimited Edition, whatever it is.
Right.
And then they go complete opposite with Cyberpunk. I think that's a smart decision. You can't really follow a sword and sorcery masterpiece with another sword and sorcery.
Where are you going to go?
Exactly. So they went completely different.
Sure.
Kind of like, I get, not to get people riled up, Metallica, the Black Album.
Yeah.
With the album and Justice for All, they went as far as thrash could take them.
You can either do part 2.
Yeah, and Justice for All part 2.
Or
something different. And they chose something different.
And it worked out.
Yes, and it worked out. Sort of, kind of. People will argue, I'm not interested in that. That's just an example. Shut up.
It's a good business decision.
Indeed, and that's what CD Projekt Red did.
That's the way it is.
So...
You wish you could do art for art's sake.
Yes.
But...
we all do.
You got bills to pay.
Yes, unfortunately, at the end of the day.
Yep.
So, essentially what had happened with CD Projekt Red was... they started working on the game, they got Keanu Reeves in on it, they got a, gameplay trailer, they're working on it, woo! All this crazy shit, stealing chips with millions of credits on it, your partner dies in a car because they shot him in the gun, he just didn't have his Kevlar Under Armour subdermal plate there.
Yeah.
I don't know, yeah, I know. Anytime I play any sort of Cyberpunk game, I'm like, can you just make me bulletproof? I feel like that would help. Just a little. Just make my entire character bulletproof.
Can I buy some lotion?
Yeah, can I buy some anti-lead lotion? Lead-free lotion.
Lead repellent.
Lead-free lotion. I want some of that.
I would like some lead repellent, please.
Yeah, can I get the military grade edition? Thank you.
Spray.
Mm-hmm. So, and then the games kept getting delayed, and it kept getting delayed.
The original...
the Cyberpunk game.
The original... Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Kept getting
stuff
delayed.
Gets delayed, and it's like,
It's
man.
like, hey, wait a minute.
Especially after the third, when you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Something's up here.
Yeah, if a movie gets delayed, that's a bad sign. If a video game gets delayed several times, it's not necessarily a bad sign. Not necessarily. Not at first. Here's the thing.
The movie is kiss of death, but...
Yes. If a movie gets delayed even once, it is a kiss of death. But a video game...
3 times, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. But if a video game gets delayed upwards of 3, you can delay a video game.
Well,
once it's polish it.
You probably...
What?
No, you probably tolerate it from a smaller studio.
Yes. Although at this point, CD Projekt Red was no longer a
Exactly. They put out The Witcher, so you have a certain expectation.
Yes.
Ooh, that's hard.
Yes.
That's hard.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It just snowballed it. So, The Witcher got delayed the first time. Not really a big deal. That happens. Gets delayed a second time. Still not a big deal. That happens. Gets delayed a third time, and it's like, okay.
This is the Cyberpunk one.
It's the Cyberpunk one.
Right, okay.
Gets delayed another couple times. It's like, ooh. For video games, if it gets delayed more than 3 times, that's not good.
Apparently.
And people kept sending the game studio death threats, which do not.
What?
Yes, that is a rampant problem in the video game industry.
Really?
If you delay a game, some people it's once, some people it's more than 3 times. They will send death threats because you delayed the game, and it's like, guys, you're not helping. So people
shut up, you keyboard nerds.
Exactly.
Come get some.
Yeah, exactly. That would be my response.
You don't even know what fresh air smells like. You're going to come out and clip somebody on a Tuesday?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what are you going to do? You gonna hire a Bitcoin assassin to run him over with his mobility scooter? Like, what the fuck are you going to do?
One of those, I'm going to segue.
Yeah, exactly. Run him over with a Segway. Pay him in Ethereum, because it's anonymous. I don't know. Just people do shit like that, and it gets on my nerves.
Oh, it's dumb. I like to read some of the threats, though. That would be.
Oh yeah. Sometimes it's just funny in a morbid way. Yeah. Sometimes it's funny in a morbid way because sometimes they'll get like stupid specific, and it's like, what are you, Dexter? Saran wrap doesn't work that way, you idiot.
No.
Anyway, no, I don't want to get into that. I mean, I'm sure there's a subreddit dedicated to death threats.
Absolutely.
I don't want to get into that right now. So people were like, release the game, you delayed it enough, and then
I'm telling Mom.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the game comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, those same people who were threatening to kill the staff,
right,
to tell them to rush the game.
Yeah.
Then the game came out, and those same people were like, "This is some buggy shit." And it's like,
slow clap blues. I love the slow clap blues.
Congratulations. A winner is you. You played yourself.
I'm crying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm not putting...
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm not...
And people are like that,
Okay, I'm not... Yeah, I know. I'm not putting the blame solely on the morons that kept trying to threaten to kill the staff. To make them...
killing me.
I know.
It's absolutely killing me.
I know.
All these keyboard warriors, they're like, I'm going to get you killed. You get drug out of your mom's basement, you ain't going to like it.
Uh-huh.
Brother, I've been in cuffs, man. It ain't no fun.
No, it's not fun. Yeah, once the cuffs get on you, you ain't no thug no more.
Ooh, buddy, that's a reality. You don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a buzzkill.
Uh-huh. No.
Buddy, getting slapped and tossed down and put in cuffs, man. That'll kill your buzz faster than anything.
You go from being the baddest motherfucker on the block to trying to figure out how you're going to explain to your mom that you're in jail.
You're not going to take me. Oh, yes, we are.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they are. They're going to do it. It's easier to just let them, because otherwise they'll shoot you.
Because they're taking you out there one way or the other.
Yeah, because if anything,
ain't going out like no punk. Well, okay, we'll get ready to bleed, because they're going to bust you up, drag you.
Yeah, especially nowadays when people are talking about this whole thing of, ACAB, all cops are bastards, every cop, and, cops are pigs and all that. Here's the thing. If we already established in the media that, ACAB, all cops are bastards, why would you attempt to resist? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're already going in with the expectation that the officer is going to shoot you if you so much as flinch wrong.
Here's the problem.
What are you doing by basically just straight up jacking their gun away or something?
They think that they're looking at cops as ACABs.
Yeah.
All cops are bastards.
Yeah.
But what they're actually doing is looking at cops like a cap, P on the end. All cops are punks.
I can believe
It's a different kind of punk.
Yeah, that's
it's a punk with a billy with a it's a punk with a billy club is what it is.
Here's the thing. All right, look, I can get behind a cap. All cops are punks. I can get behind that.
I'm just saying that's what makes people get out and resist cops. You think they're a punk. They are you in your mind are thinking, well, it could go this way or it could go that way. Cops don't arrive on the scene thinking like that. They're thinking, we're going to club this motherfucker down until we get him out of here, and that's it.
There's a huge difference between a punk and a bastard.
That's true.
Because with a punk, you have a shot. A bastard? No. No, you don't. Not in this context. But anyway, I don't want to get into that.
No.
But here's the thing. From what I understand about Cyberpunk 2077, the way it came out, obviously as soon as it came out, it was just a buggy, damn near unplayable mess. There was like a bunch of shifty stuff where they released gameplay footage that was doctored, which is a kind of a video game cardinal sin that always gets committed. That's why you see anytime you see a trailer for a video game and it looks awesome.
Right.
There's somewhere in one of the lower corners it says not official gameplay footage. Is because it's a doctored footage.
Well, that's a drag.
Exactly. To the point, it's kind of like
I didn't do that stuff. I don't do the Nintendo. But even I know that's a.
I mean, it's basically in the same ballpark as any time, especially in the early 2000s, especially the early 2000s. Where you saw these commercials for probably the early 2010s, but whatever. You saw these commercials for depression pills.
Yeah.
And then they would just read off all of the side effects in quick voice.
Oh yeah.
It's like this'll cure your depression. Get outside with your children. May cause severe blood hemorrhaging and addiction to gambling, and you're gonna go set your dog on fire and try to take over the world.
And anal leakage.
What? And anal leakage. And they read that shit off real fast so you don't catch it. What? Exactly. It's kind of in that same vein. Not quite, but in that ballpark.
I got you.
So, but here's the thing. From my understanding, the story of Cyberpunk is solid.
Yeah.
Like all the side quests and the stories and the characters. The writing is solid, from my understanding. The writing is solid.
Okay.
It's technical issues that's the problem.
Really?
And technical issues can be fixed.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, if you have a shitty story, you can't fix that.
No, you can't fix that.
So that's why I'm waiting for a patch to officially play it, so that they fix all of the broken shit where you're driving through the building and then all of a sudden your car falls out of reality and then you die.
Ooh.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Characters, textures turning off to where everyone is just T-posing all the time. Kind of cuts down on your gaming immersion. Corrupted data files, stuff like that. Obviously, it's a little bit better.
This game's been out for how long?
A couple months.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm kind of waiting for the Ultimate Edition of Cyberpunk 2077, with all the DLCs and all the packages and all the bug fixes and all the whatevers.
Oh, so that's the new and improved line?
Yeah.
New and improved. Less bugs. Woo!
Yeah, it's like, CD Projekt Red, you're not Bethesda, stop it.
Less bugs. You're playing TS4000? Yeah, I'm playing TS4000. Edition 2 with less bugs. Less bugs. Woo!
Exactly. So that's kind of my stance with Cyberpunk 2077. I have not played it. I do want to play it. Actually, I'm using a collector's edition as a table. Yeah.
The Victorian style I like about it.
Victorian style.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically Blade Runner on LSD. Pretty colors.
Yes.
You like that style?
Well, I'm just saying it's a fusion between,
Don't look at me. I'm looking at you
No,
first. What are you talking
There's a lot of
about?
genres that are a combination of English and other cultures.
This ain't English. This is more. This is straight up.
The early steampunk.
Yeah, the early steampunk. It was basically kind of like American
It's
English.
probably futuristic kind of now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the early days of Cyberpunk, it was very. And now, mind you, this was back in the 80s when everyone thought Japan was going to take over the world.
Sure.
But you look at Blade Runner and those specific genre movies involving technology.
Yeah.
Especially in the 80s. And it's like, ooh, Japan! All the best stuff is made in Japan.
Yeah, Japan had the...
because their economy was on fire. And then it caught fire in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because that was their depression decade, was
well,
1990s.
basically what they did was...
unfortunate.
There was a lot of that was manufactured.
Yes.
And the reports were calculated.
So you would say that Japan, to an extent, was kind of cooking the books, to an extent?
A little. No, probably not any more than any other country ever has.
Oh, of course.
And everybody does.
Oh, of course.
But they had...
Every country doctors their own
Well,
facts.
you have to be careful when you... Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be careful when you create a pattern for success. You have to understand that pattern that brought you to success is not really... malleable. It isn't really...
It's a bubble.
Well, it's something that becomes more... the process that creates success can become more expensive along the way. And if you are
That's fair.
trying to...
That's fair.
If you're more interested in profits over process, you eventually start squeezing every bit of profit from your process, and it causes your process to break down.
Yeah,
And then you begin to cover
mm-hmm.
your process breaking down.
And then you have nothing because you got to start over.
Yeah, and sooner or later, that facade is going to catch up with you.
Yes.
And it's going to come crashing.
Yeah, so
And
you,
that's basically
if you
what
sacrifice your process for profit,
Mhm.
eventually you will
Mhm.
have no profit.
You'll have no profit. Yeah.
Yeah, my company's kind of
And it'll,
in the beginning stages of that.
yeah, and it'll cripple you too. You
Yeah.
have to be it has to be managed by somebody extremely wise and understanding.
That is not my case.
Well, I'm just saying.
I know. I know. One of my stock and trades on this talk show is I hate my job or I hate my bosses because my boss is a senile old man who all he cares about is numbers, and that's all we are to him is just numbers on a calculator. Yeehaw!
Welcome to the working class.
Precisely.
Yeah, it isn't any different anywhere else.
No. Well, it's slightly different in its severity, but it is ultimately nothing different. No different from anywhere else.
I'm in the same situation. I am a part of a profession, and I make a very good dollar for that.
Yeah, but
profession.
here's the difference.
And I am treated the exact same way as a pawn in the...
Is that a spider?
In the vanguard. There? No.
Oh, no, that's your poncho.
That's right. No, I'm in the vanguard. I am cannon fodder.
But
and
here's
when
the
you're
problem.
in the working class, you're cannon fodder. That's it.
That's true, but here's the problem with that mentality.
Yeah.
You know, whether you want to bring classism into the argument. Now, here's the thing. Now, I try not to talk about stuff like that. I can entertain a conversation about classism because that is real.
Sure.
That's the one thing you can definitely see is real.
Yeah. I mean, is it intentional or is it unintentional?
True.
Just,
That's, but here's the thing. I don't want to get too deep into it per se, but here's the problem with looking at it purely from that perspective of, clearly the wealthy elite mistreating the underclass and all this other bourgeoisie communist propaganda, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. You have to be a certain type of person in order to be in a high-ranking position in a company or a business or whatever you're doing.
Usually.
Because here's the problem. You should pick your peers, or you should pick people to do a certain job based on how they operate. Not who they are as their name.
True.
What they look like.
True.
Or even if they agree with you.
It goes the whole,
opinion.
What do you care what color they are? What do you care what kind of equipment they're carrying? I don't.
No, you
show
don't.
up, do your job.
Yeah, do your job.
Do your job, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way
Everything else is
the way it should, or maybe at some point, it probably did work this way. I'm pretty sure it did used to work this way, where you get a job at, I don't know, a factory, and you do your job exceedingly well, and you get promoted, and you go through the ranks, and all of a sudden, at some point, like 40 years later, on the board of directors, you never have to work again, and your family never has to work again, because you basically pave the road for them to be comfortable the rest of your life. That, in my opinion, is what capitalism is supposed to be. At some point, you have to, well, if the opportunity is given, mind you, you have to find a way to mow down a path so that your descendants or your friends and family, whatever, can pave the way. You help pave the way for them to be comfortable for not only the rest of your days, but the rest of their days.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You don't have to be ultra super wealthy.
No.
But to the point where you don't have to work anymore, your family doesn't have to work anymore, and everything's taken care of.
We have the...
That's what it's supposed to be. And unless you get super creative, you can't really do it anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you don't have a job.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you don't have a job.
Don't work. And there is a big difference between work and a job.
Yeah.
Work is time consuming, and it takes a toll on you physically.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, there's a difference. That's what capitalism is supposed to be. You're supposed to establish a way for you to...
The American dream.
Yeah, the American dream.
That's why people come here from other countries, because that opportunity is... They don't come here for the wealth.
No.
They don't come here for all the stuff in the brochure.
They want the opportunity.
They want the opportunity
to make something of themselves.
To change their lives, which they don't have where they come from.
Exactly.
And that's why people come here. That's it.
And here's the problem. Here's ultimately, I think, what is happening today. Now, mind you, I don't want to sound egotistical about it, obviously. Okay. We're trying to circumvent it in our own way.
That's quite...
We don't want to elaborate on it right now, at least. So... But here's the thing. Everyone nowadays, it's not everybody, but my generation and younger, they're basically having this problem where, and I think I saw a good explanation of this the other day, and it made sense, where my generation and younger, and around the millennials as well, previous generation, I guess, so what the problem is that they go through their high school, they go through college, they get in debt in college, chasing a degree, whether useless or not, doesn't really matter.
No.
They have a degree, they just went through college, student loans and all that, and they try to get a job in something that they should be qualified for because they took the time, effort, and the debt to go through the process for them to be qualified for a position.
Right.
But as soon as they get to the position, either there's nothing available in the job market, or the job that theoretically they should be qualified for, you have to have a certain amount of experience that fresh out of college studying you wouldn't have. It's like getting a job as an IT technician, where you have to have 20 years of Excel, but Excel's only been around for like 15 years. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what do you mean I have to have more experience in this program for longer than...
You have to have the degree to get the job, but you have to have the job to
you have to have the experience to get
the job.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I can't get experience until I get a job.
I found an explanation for what happened.
Yeah.
And it ties into Wall Street bets.
Ooh.
I know. All right, now, I was a child during the 2008 recession.
Yes.
Now, mind you, as soon as that bubble popped and people were getting clipped left and right and center, like mad crazy, we were out west, and you basically said to the matriarch, "We're leaving.
Yeah, we're leaving.
We're getting the fuck out of here."
Yeah. There's some next level stuff getting ready to take place. We need to go home.
Yeah, we needed to leave pronto.
Right.
And we did. And I think we're in a better position overall for it all these years later.
Absolutely.
It actually kind of amazes me, looking back on it, even though I was a small kid, didn't really understand what was happening. Anyway, so here's what happened, or here's an explanation of why that is. That whole thing of, oh, I have a degree, but I have to have experience, but I can't get experience until I have this job, but I have to have experience for this job, and it just becomes this never-ending circle jerk, and they have to basically get these jobs that they're overqualified for.
Right.
Here is someone, I don't remember who said this, but I found it, and I was like, I don't know, this is probably true. I don't know how much percentage of it is the whole truth, but I do know that this has to be true, because it makes too much sense for it not to be true, you know?
Yeah, I understand.
It's that thing where I don't have the numbers to back up what you just said, but logically, based on the events and your argument, it makes sense, so it has to be it.
Sure.
During the 2008 recession, a lot of people lost their jobs for obvious reasons.
Right.
Now, I don't want to go over exactly everything that happened in the 2008 recession. I guess if you want more information, we have an episode talking about Wall Street versus Wall Street bets, whatever. It's a little bit more detailed there. So, the bubble popped, people lost their homes, lost their jobs, livelihoods, everything. It basically caused people's entire careers in whatever field they were in to completely reset.
Yeah.
So it caused all of these people who have been in these jobs for like 10, 20, 30 more plus years to completely get reset, and they have to go back to these entry-level positions, but they have the knowledge of someone who's been doing that job or something more advanced for 10 plus years.
Right.
So basically, think about it. You take a person who is an expert in this field, like an expert in the field.
Right.
They have the degree, they put the time in, clocked in field work, have, time, effort, reports, everything. And then you put them in an entry-level position because that's all they can afford. That's all they can get.
Right.
Because of this big recession.
Right.
And now, all these years later, these companies are asking for people with 5 to 10 years plus experience for entry-level positions. Why? Because they had those people in those positions before, and it worked out so much better. Not because people came straight out of the gate with that experience.
Are you trying to say this younger generation is going to be pushed out of the workforce?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That is basically...
You basically have this huge number of unemployed looking for work that just need a job.
Yeah, it's not... Yeah, here's the thing. It's not that the Gen Z or millennials are lazy. We're not lazy. It's because of that 2008 recession where you put these experienced people in these menial jobs, and now all the people who should, ideally, be in those menial jobs, they can't get in because they're not the experts that originally were in those jobs during that 2008 recession.
I got you.
So they're being forced and pushed out of the workforce just by the nature of what had happened. Because they had already had these super efficient people in these lowly jobs.
Somebody that has all the qualifications.
Yes.
They
were
experience.
Overqualified for that position. Yeah.
And they gave it to them because they were willing to take it.
Exactly.
I got you. Established work ethic, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's basically what is happening.
It's going to create a really
that's
big
why
undertow in the young people.
It's begun. That's why you see all of this stuff about like alternative revenue streams, about people getting multiple streams.
Yeah.
Because there's no longer a way for you to go to one job.
Oh yeah, your generation and younger definitely. If you need to find a way to make this box right here in front of us make you money.
Yeah, because of what had happened, there's no longer a way for you to go to one specific job that pays for everything. Now, mind you, this isn't because of inflation and the recession and all that.
Right.
Obviously, it's way more complicated than I'm dumbing it down to be.
It is.
But just for the sheer, just to condense it.
It's just too much to talk about.
It's just too much to talk about. Yeah. And this ain't history class.
No, it ain't.
We might get into it one day, but we're not. Later. Maybe. Probably not. Anyway, it's too much effort. So, because of all this is why you can no longer go to one job and make all the money, and you don't have to worry about getting all these, you don't have to worry about doing all this weird shit of getting alternate revenue streams, like a YouTube channel, selling pics of your feet or whatever.
That happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, if you make money doing it,
Hey, I don't look down on people who have to do OnlyFans. I just wish there was another way. That's how I look at stuff like that. I'm not mad that you're doing it. I'm mad that you have to do it.
You have to do it.
That people are forced in these positions where they have to do it.
Yeah,
Does that make sense, what I just said to you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Like I said, I'm not saying that's
People,
across the board. That's not 100% with
it's a cycle.
Yeah, it's a cycle. Part of the long game repercussions of that 2008 recession is this current established pattern, this cycle of diminishing returns.
Right.
Because as the experienced people obviously will get old, die, and or retire, especially with the beer flu running around. Especially. And these companies who are used to these highly skilled, highly competent people in these lowly jobs start to leave and or die off.
Right.
And they keep asking for the same type of qualified people in those lowly positions. And the new generation, they can't keep up with it. Why? Because they can't even get their foot in the door anyway.
Right.
I'm not saying we're going to head for another Great Depression, but it is, in the words of the almighty podcaster lord, it is entirely possible.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully it's not.
I mean, you have to make good decisions. I mean, I've seen, it's just like the decisions that I made to go into the field that I'm in.
Yes.
I mean, you got to take a look at what the market is telling you. You've got to, I could have, I needed to go.
You could have chosen anything.
I could have chosen anything, and I tried. But I got steered into what I got steered into, and it was just what I think about it. I enjoy. It's catastrophe resistant.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of the situation, whether I get paid a lot or get paid a little, I'll always have a job. And that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I actually, before you got started on the thing that we're working on right now, I was legitimately thinking about going back to school to get into nursing because I'd always have a job.
Right.
The only problem is that, well, for one thing, you found something.
Right.
Which we might talk about later once we master it.
We will.
Obviously,
Absolutely.
once we master it.
Once we master it, yeah.
That's the trick. Once we master it. We're not going to be talking out of our asses about it right now, but later. But the other thing that kind of stopped me, other than, putting some of my money away for the training I'm receiving.
Right.
Is just the fact that I'm just like, didn't they change the rules where you now have to have a bachelor's instead of an associate to be a nurse or something?
Well, certain facilities, like the hospital, well, that is an...
or is that a gross overestimation?
No. That is a very public presentation.
Mm-hmm.
It looks good in the brochure.
Sure.
It's been tossed out onto the table in a boardroom.
Uh-huh.
When a bunch of suits are looking at it.
Of course. It's always the suits.
But the reality is that there's always going to be a certain element of those, especially in this area, that has some of the finest schools for the non-bachelor's degree nurses in the country. It's just dumb.
Yeah, I know it's dumb.
It's just dumb.
I know it's dumb.
Okay. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
And they keep, it's amazing to me how a corporation can operate in a way that is so blind. And this isn't just in medical. This is in a lot of things.
Yeah.
That is so blind to the reality that's in front of them. They want to do these surveys. They want to bring in these companies that do these public surveys with the patients or the customers or whatever your vernacular is.
Yeah.
And what people are interested in is the reality. There, you can create a perception of quality,
Sure.
or you can have a reality of quality. And you can have a perception and a reality, okay?
Yeah.
But there are facilities and companies that choose one or the other, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So no, it's not, especially now.
Mm-hmm.
It's mono, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
feet on the street. It's dog eat dog out there right now. So
Yeah, it's just
all that pretty frilly, hey, wouldn't it be nice if we did this kind of? No, they need function.
yes.
All right.
The medical field needs function.
That's right. They need function.
Yeah, the other
They need warriors.
Yeah,
And,
the beer flu definitely knocked any notion of becoming any sort of medical professional out of my sails, because I'm like, I'm not getting neck deep into this.
I can assure you, although I think I wondered about that. I wondered if they would have that kind of influence on you. Not that I was scared that it would, but it did cross my mind. But I can tell you, as the person who has watched you since the very beginning, what we are involved in right now is right down your alley.
Oh, I know.
It's right down your alley. And
now, mind you, for you,
yeah,
pointed at you, Scratch, just for reference.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, once this process we're in the middle of, once we've mastered it,
yeah,
that doesn't mean I don't want to go back to school.
Oh, me either.
Because my thing is that, here's the thing. I have this thing, personally. I like to learn.
Yeah, I'm saying
and I like to learn from people who know what they're talking about. So it's not that I don't want to be a medical professional. I don't. But I want to take classes about anatomy and stuff.
Sure.
So that I can take that knowledge with me.
Right.
So when I have a family, it's like my kid's like, hey, I feel this in my lower thorax, and I'm just like, oh, that's this. Here's some ibuprofen.
That's right.
Now go to bed.
You've got an extended sprain of your Brussels snarf. Next.
Acetaminophen. Yeah, basically.
Right.
Yeah, because I just have this hard time I have this image in my head where it's like, a child of mine comes to me and there's something wrong, and I keep thinking, where's my dad? Because he knows what that is. Oh no, wait, he's not here.
Not here.
Crap. I just have that thing in my head where it's like, oh no, something is wrong with my kid, and I don't know what it is for the first time in my life, because,
right,
ever since I was small, it's like, I would ask you, hey, what is this? And you would tell me.
Right.
Or I would come to you and say, I have this problem, and you would just tell me how to fix it.
Right.
And at some point, I just had this realization one day several years ago. I had to have been in late high school, where I went, oh wait, there's going to come a time when I'm going to have a question related to the body and to health. Either it be for me or someone I know or someone I care about and love or a child of mine. And I'm not going to have that answer. And it spooked me, that realization. It's like growing up with a book of answers, and then all of a sudden that book gets taken away. And you're like, what the fuck do I do now? So that is definitely on the top of my list of, I want to have the qualifications of an ER nurse.
Right.
I just don't want to be an ER nurse. I want to have the knowledge, but I'm not working for a hospital.
What you'll realize is,
I refuse.
It took me a while to figure this out about life, because my father left me when I was so young. You will realize that you've got more understanding, knowledge, and ability than you think you do. But it only shows up when situations arrive.
That's fair.
And that's fair.
That is fair.
So it's kind of like, you don't know you have a life preserver on the boat till the storm hits.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. So I can assure you there will be those connections in the future. But
I get it.
it'll you just have to access it. It's
True.
You don't have to. It's already there.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, it's already there, and you'll access it, and it'll work out.
Oh yeah. I suppose it's also a good thing that I have a extremely positive association with the hospital.
True.
To the point where anytime someone's like, well, let's go to the hospital, I'm down.
People
I want to go.
And that's unfortunate. People have a lot of psychological hang-ups with health and health-related things, like when they get older or they have health conditions, and you can't even be honest. Their family won't even be. I can't tell you the number of times where I had family come in and say something to me like, or I had one of my fellow nurses come to me and say, oh, this patient Smith over here, they've got cancer. Don't tell the patient. The family doesn't want her to know. And it's like, what?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Really?
They kind of have to know.
And I can tell you.
It's their body.
There's like 3 levels of that.
Yeah.
There is, oh, I know. And then there is, I've got the slightest idea what you're talking about. And then the one in the middle is like they know, but they're acting like they don't.
Denial.
And it's really, it's heartbreaking, but I would say it's a little funny because it's kind of, the situation can be funny. But, it is a little heartbreaking when the patient has got on that, the family thinks they're being brave for the patient.
No.
But the patient's really being brave for the family, and they're putting on this act. And I dealt with enough people that I knew, I could tell the ones that knew, but they were acting like they didn't know for the rest of the family who thought that Nana or Granny or Grandma or Grandpa or Papa or whoever didn't know. And that's a really interesting room to be standing in and talking to people.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is very interesting.
This really weird psychological war
it's
of attrition.
Yes, it is. This, to watch the ebb and flow of interaction between people in those parameters is very, very interesting.
Yeah. It just sounds interesting.
Yeah,
but
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I know. That's just something I will usually think about is.
Well, it's kind of like that, I mean, you. I don't know if I know how to swim, but you already know how to swim. I was angry for a long time because I was like, my dad left, and I miss, and I could sure use him right now. And if I had embraced this idea earlier, it would have been better. And that is that every day, and this is what I think parenting is about.
Yeah.
Every day you do all you can. It may seem like a spoonful, and some days it seems like a dump truck full. But every day you do your best and you do all you can, and you do it with love. Do all things with love.
If nothing else,
do all things with love. And if you do all things with love, right or wrong, good or bad, it'll eventually work out. So,
and don't be afraid.
I believe that.
And don't be afraid to teach your kids what you know.
What you know.
That's something I always ran into, especially in high school. If you, as a parent, if you're a plumber, teach your kids about plumbing. If you are like a trash collector, teach your kids about trash collecting and, managing their trash and all that. If you're a car mechanic, for the love of God, tell your kids how to manage their own car.
Give them what you got.
Yeah, it does not matter. Because here's the thing. They might go into that field that you're in. Yeah. Maybe. But if they don't, they have it in their back pocket regardless. I mean, think about it. If you teach your kids how to, fix their toilet without having to call a plumber, guess what? They saved about $500.
I can't tell you. My dad used to drag me out and make me help him work on cars, and I hated every single solitary second of every single solitary minute of it. But knowing how to have the basic understanding of how to work on cars has saved me thousands of dollars.
Exactly.
Thousands and thousands. I could buy a brand new vehicle for all the money that knowing how to work on my own cars has saved me. So yeah.
Precisely.
Teach your kids what you know.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Does not matter.
Does not matter.
I'm about to pass out.
Woo!
Ugh.
Go outside and run some laps.
It's dark.
It's dark and cold.
Yeah, no. And I gotta eat dinner because I have to.
Yes, yes.
At least I found a good recipe.
True. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's alright.
I'm just glad you're getting into understanding spice. That's pretty cool.
Well, I wanted to understand spice. I just really didn't have the opportunity until, alright. I have a trainer who I think listens to the podcast, but I ain't too sure. But he's a cool dude. The matriarch met him. He's cool. And he put me on a particular diet. Now, mind you, when I initially signed up for this program, I was very interested in the workout process rather than, well, anything else.
Right.
I wanted to know what they did so that I could have that knowledge in my brain.
Right.
So that I could take that knowledge and do it on my own.
Sure.
You know, obviously not teach other people. I don't maybe
teach somebody to fish.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Basically that I kind of went into it with that mentality.
That's what we're doing with this program.
Yeah, pretty much. And then we got into the whole you got to change your diet, which I knew the diet was part of it. I just didn't know how advanced it was.
Right.
Because we eat pretty clean.
We
this
do.
This just cleaned up more.
Yeah, it did go up to another level.
Yeah, this was an entirely different level.
I know we weren't tight, but I knew we were pretty clean.
Mm-hmm.
But the next level,
yeah, it's not like we were eating McDonald's every day.
Not every day.
Not every day.
And once every 2 weeks.
And once every 2 weeks. And once every 2 weeks is fine. That's not a big deal.
Payday, woo!
Yeah, pretty much. But the problem was that, we were, before this diet, obviously we were, cutting out, trying to cut down on, trying to be as salt-free as possible, trying to be low-fat, low sugar.
Yeah.
Apparently we were consuming a lot more salt than we thought.
A lot.
A lot. Like, stupid amount of salt.
Not even added salt.
Not even added salt.
Yeah.
Like, just something that was already in the food.
Right.
Like, but you would forget the food, cook it, eat it, didn't add salt. It was already there.
Right.
And I came to you one day and I said, maybe the problem is we're not fat, we're just retaining water because of the excess sodium.
I think that's part of it.
It is part of it, definitely. Definitely was for me. I mean, obviously fat too, but, whatever. So, now mind you, I needled and threaded my way through the diet here and there, trying to find different ways of making it more appetizing while staying within the line.
Yep.
And within the past week, as I was basically window food shopping on YouTube, I came across a recipe for something called Chinese chili oil.
Yeah.
And I made it. And it tastes amazing.
Cool.
Obviously, got some other stuff too, but that was the primary ingredient, was this homemade chili oil. You cook with it, you add it to stuff. I haven't mastered it 100%, like, I don't know all the recipes for it. Obviously, I didn't grow up in that culture.
Nope.
But I like the food regardless.
It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. That actually reminds me, there's something in the kitchen I need to prepare for tomorrow.
Now, spice is very healthy.
Oh yeah, it is. And this chili oil is just like red pepper, sesame seeds, a couple of other things, no salt.
It isn't just healthy because it is no salt or less fat.
Yeah.
It is healthy because spices are natural elements that carry particular compounds and substances in them
Precisely.
That you can ingest. It just makes you a healthier person.
Yeah.
You know, like turmeric. Say, for example, turmeric. Turmeric is like a wonder drug. I mean,
it's good for inflammation.
It's good for everything.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a recipe, like a really good recipe for something called turmeric milk or golden milk.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I figure out how to make that, I'm going to drink that every night. I don't even have problems with inflammation. No. I will never have problems with inflammation once I start drinking that stuff.
That's for sure.
Yeah. That's just a me thing, you know.
Yeah.
Trying to be healthy and, holistic to an extent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I believe in I believe in home remedies and all that.
What's the frequency, Kenneth? You don't know that
I
one
don't
at all.
know. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. You're old. I get it. Look, I believe in making medicine at home, using herbs that come from the earth,
Sure.
fix stuff, colds and toothaches and all that. But here's the thing: if you got a broken bone, go to the hospital.
Oh yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah. Peppermint isn't gonna cure your polio, Jeb.
No, peppermint does not cure polio. I've got proof.
Yeah, you have the proof. The proof is in the pudding that you've yet to eat. It's still in the fridge. Actually, I lied. We don't have pudding, but whatever.
No pudding.
Yeah, that's just my whole.
If you don't eat your pudding.
Yeah, that's my whole stance on that whole. That's my whole stance on the whole home remedy stuff. Is good for minor stuff.
And it's going to be a growing field, genre, whatever. Because people are going to be learning to do more stuff at home.
Yeah, not only that, but people are going to have to learn to grow their own food because, well, here's the thing. Think about it with the whole corona thing.
Yeah.
All right, now, ignore that. Here's the thing. Now, I am going to sound like a devil's advocate for what I'm about to say because I know people are really angry. I'm angry about it.
I'm scared.
The whole stimulus check thing?
No, they're just scared.
Like, initially it was like, what, 900? Like, 1,000? Like 1,000 or something? 200? Initially, under the Cheeto Man administration?
Cheeto in chief.
Yeah, and then the second one was like a $600 check, most recent one currently. Yeah. And then it was going to be a, 1,000 something other check.
It's like 1,400.
Something like that, $1,400 check. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I want free money as the next person.
Sure.
Trust me.
Yeah.
I am a hardcore capitalist. Try to be I just had like some alcoholic seltzer, so my brain's not working. Now I wanted to be a not authentic, ethnical capitalism.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't border on the complete exploitation of the unwashed masses.
Sure.
Basically just shoving people into the dirt, giving them no pay while you reap 90% of the benefits.
Snowpiercer.
Yes, Snowpiercer. I don't believe in that.
No.
I believe in the equal opportunity, you work hard, show by character, all that stuff. I believe in that side of capitalism.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I think the primary reason that they have deliberated and held off on these stimulus checks as much as they possibly can, while news has circulated that other countries have handed out smaller but still have handed out stimulus checks for like monthly, quarterly in other countries.
Right.
I think part of the reason, now mind you, this is part, not the entire reason, obviously, knowing the U.S. government.
Sure.
If we were to hand out these stimulus checks just willy-nilly, it would devalue the dollar.
Oh, that's already done.
No, still. like devalue it further than what could potentially be repaired.
Yeah, oh no. Anytime they inject that much money when they talk about here's the package, they give you a number.
Yeah, and they give you a number.
They've got to print that.
Yes.
And when they print that,
yes,
that puts more of the fiat currency out into circulation.
Yes.
And that drives down because there's
more paper than gold.
There's more paper. So you need more paper to buy what you are buying. So
and
that's where the inflation comes in.
Yeah, that's what causes inflation.
Yes.
So hypothetically, I believe part of the reason why they've held off on these stimulus checks is because at some point, if hypothetically they were to just completely dump this money as they clearly have done for the hospital system in general.
Yeah.
If they were to devalue the dollar and essentially create inflation on that scale, then your stimulus checks are worthless. To an extent, obviously.
Unless you spend them as soon as you get them. If
Precisely.
you want maximum value out of the check, you got to put it back in the market as soon as you get it.
Precisely.
The longer you hang on to it, the less it will be worth. That is correct.
And I know where my stimulus check is going.
Yeah.
So, look, you and I already have a plan in place, but here's the thing. I'm not trying to play devil's advocate of, we should never get stimulus checks. No. That's not what I'm saying. No. What I'm saying is that might be the reason, is because in definitely down the line, oh my God, down the line, definitely, that's another reason why we're probably going to face another Great Depression.
Well, that's what a lot
is because we're going to turn into Zimbabwe, where we have to have 5 billion of the currency just to buy one roll of toilet paper. It won't be that extreme.
No, it
I don't
won't be
think.
that extreme, but
that's still in the realm of possibilities.
That's where I mean, from a certain perspective, we are already in that.
Yeah.
And so is anybody that has to inject more cash into. But the thing about the Great Depression, is that it took place at a time when, like now, when these types of things happen, they just print more money.
Yeah.
When the Great Depression hit,
they didn't have the ability to do that.
They didn't have the process. They might have had the theory.
But not the
process to do that.
That makes sense.
So actually, they had to go borrow cash from
other places.
People for the Great Depression.
Yeah, that's why
they literally borrowed money from J.P. Morgan, Chase, not their banks, the original J.P. Morgan. The guy was alive. That's how much cash he had. The U.S. government went to him and said, hey, we're in a bind.
Can we have money?
Can you give us cash?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he had amassed so much of it.
And he was still alive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That sort of thing still happens.
J.P. Morgan, the ghost of rich dudes past.
I love that top hat.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to get me one of them beaver skin top hats, man.
Who also properly walked the Monopoly mustache.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's who that piece was.
Probably.
That person was modeled after.
Yeah. The Monopoly guy, Mr. Moneybags, it's probably J.P. Morgan.
Absolutely.
Probably.
Big mustache,
the
hat.
only person else I could possibly think of would probably be Dale Carnegie, but that's it.
Yeah, Dale Carnegie does. I've never seen a picture of, well, not with a mustache and a top hat. Anyway.
Don't become a target. Anyway. So, alright, after this doom and gloom, we kind of have to wrap up because otherwise the tape recorder's gonna fucking fill up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, somewhat light note. I figured how to make boba tea.
Hot damn.
Yeah, now I'm gonna save myself money.
I can hear the banjo music already.
Yeah. I like boba.
That's cool.
I genuinely do like boba, honestly and truly. I could drink it every day, constantly.
That's such an experience. It's
is.
Like drink and chew and drink and chew.
Drink and chew, yeah.
That's kind of
I like it. Honestly, if someone figured out how to make like the tapioca pearls where it's made out of like protein, It's a complete meal.
Yeah, well,
Or because you have the milk,
you have the
which
milk.
is
Yeah, that's
you
a
have the
good point.
milk, which it could be carbohydrate, kind of, and then you got like protein pearls. It's like made of, I don't know. The only thing I think of is like the protein shake powder stuff.
Oh, the whey protein.
Like the whey protein, and then you drink it, and all of a sudden it's a boba workout shake.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm not a food scientist.
Just add water.
Yeah, just add water. Yeah, just add water, tea.
Excuse me.
You got your protein pearls. You got your tea for energy. You got
That'd
your
be
milk
cool.
as a carbohydrate, and you're good to go.
I could deal with that.
If I could figure it out, I'd make it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we gotta wrap up because I got stuff to cook.
Yowza.
Yeah, and I'm about to pass out.
And I'm on empty.
I've been on empty.
Tinkle-linkle-linkle-linkle.
Shut up. Just because you got a bigger glass than I did.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, well, I guess that's it, folks.
Yep.
I was your host, Bel-E.
And I was your co-host, Mr. Scratch.
And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Bye.